thought that Wells was a great man. I was so wrong.
Cisco and Caitlin are helping him? That's impossible.
Is it? The Reverse Flash killed my mother. They're the same person.
Are you sure that's wise, Barry?
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Alonso Duralde from TheWrap and the Lonoleum Knife Podcast. William Bibbani from Crave Online and Francis Maxwell of the Young Turks. It's The Flash all-star team-up. Only 5 more episodes this season. We are winding it down. And we were just talking about the fact that it's weird to go back to these major network superhero shows now that we're all watching Daredevil.
Well, it's a different beast.
It's a different beast.
It was like, I remember I had a debate with a friend of mine. He had only seen The Shield, and I had only seen The Wire. Neither of us had seen the other person's show. And he said he thought The Shield was the best cop show ever. I thought The Wire was the best cop show ever. And then we switched. And I think it worked better the other way around because The Shield is an awesome show, but it just...
Had you not seen The Wire?
But just production values, the way that these things are filmed and put together, they don't really compare.
Yeah,
when you have to put together even just ad breaks or everything gets kind of weird. But The Flash is not an adult show. Daredevil is a show for adults or at the very least mature teenagers. The Flash is a show you can watch with the whole family. The Flash
but this episode in general, there's a lot of sex references dropped in.
There really were.
There's a couple of them. But that's what my excuse I was telling myself when I was watching this. I was like, all right, they've got 5 episodes left. They need to try and do something to fill it in. And that's what this episode for me was, especially the Bug-Eyed Bandit, who we know from Walking Dead. I know her from Emily Kane from Walking Dead. I think she was pretty good on that. But
I just the name Brie Larvin, like bee larva, but not.
So did they
They
changed the sex right from the comic books because it was originally a guy, right? Bug-Eyed Bandit.
I think they're kind of conflating. I thought they were going Queen Bee with that, and they were kind of mixing it up. But it's a little complicated.
Yeah, so
that one's not my expertise. I'm not going to pretend.
I had a couple of problems with the villain. First and foremost, we didn't get enough of a motive, and I know that's a problem sometimes with these villain of the weeks because you don't have enough time to draw everyone in and give you the backdrop.
You got to balance it out with the main story and the supporting cast.
I felt like I had more information about the bees rather than her.
She got fired, she's mad.
Yeah, she got fired, she's mad. I'm going to start killing everyone.
She's a disgruntled robotic.
She's a done-in-one, episodic villain of the week, and that's it. I feel like she's the kind of character who, if they do like a villain team up, she might be kind of cool, like the Oracle for them or something. Yeah. They established her as Felicity's nemesis a little bit, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah, sure. And she's the kind of character that you trot out as a villain when you're overloading what's happening on the hero side, which we are on this episode. You got Felicity and Ray Palmer. They've been established in Arrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
visiting from Arrow, you've got Cisco having dreams of alternate timelines.
Yeah.
There's things. You've got Iris is mad because Eddie's not telling her things, and
Barry doesn't know whether he can trust the Misfits of Science.
That was one of my problems. Is Iris? I feel like they're portraying her as a very dislikable character these days.
That is the problem.
I think that's because I understand with network shows you have to prolong it, you have to fill things out. So I wasn't that mad, but they're making Iris for me come across as very dislikable because
as a cop's daughter, she should know better.
And she was a cockblock a few episodes back when she was trying to upset the relationship between Barry and the reporter. And now he gives her a very compelling storyline. He's like, right, there's some things that just are best left unheard. Like, you just don't want to tell you about this. And she's like, okay, and then runs into the office, guns blazing.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? She does have an argument. He should at least tell me that himself. But here's the thing. It's a difficult character to use dramatically because you want to have someone who... Arrow has fallen into this season where now everyone knows who Arrow is. Yeah. And it just removes this piece of normalcy from the show. You don't have to pretend to be normal after a while. So you want to keep someone in play like that. But, we are sympathetic with Barry and everyone else, and she doesn't have our sympathies because her problems seem so minor compared to saving the world, solving a murder. But her problems are very real to her, and it's very difficult to balance that. I'm not saying they're succeeding. I think it's a problem, but I am sympathetic to the problem inherent in even using that character.
I just felt that they could have done a better job of telling her why she was so upset, because at one moment she was at dinner, and he was like, I want to tell you, but I can't. And then she goes, is he cheating on me? Well, I don't think if someone's cheating on you, they would tell you that they want to tell you, but they can't.
Look, lightning psychosis. That's it. It was Barry's lightning psychosis is contagious, and it's just moving on. Done.
I'm frankly muddled from this show just because it took the weeks off. Why does Eddie know, but not her? Like, I know she can't find out because the Reverse Flash threatened her.
Right.
Here's
my thing. If the Reverse Flash wanted her dead, she's dead. That's my thing. I don't understand why we're taking orders from from this guy who hates us.
It feels a little
The reason
contrived.
That
I
feels
think
contrived.
Eddie knows is so that it can create this problem between Eddie and the Flash.
More or
Eddie
less,
and Barry.
yeah.
Because now you see whenever it suddenly comes out with their arguments, you see them looking at each other like he's thinking, I wish I could tell her, and it would make all these problems go away.
Yeah.
But
I
you won't
can't.
let me.
But you know what? Bringing Eddie in though, let the show open with a really fun
That was
opening with the two cops and the Flash is working with them,
Yeah.
and it was an amusing little sequence. It was well handled.
But then it would bug me later because if the Flash can vibrate himself into a moving car now, which I know he's been developing his skills, and I totally.
Or he
bought.
just opened the door so fast. But.
Oh, okay, maybe that. Okay. All right, see, I thought she vibrated in. I thought, then why can't he vibrate through the glass when he's got bees all over him?
Yes.
Why can't he vibrate through the bees?
Yeah, for that matter.
So
Yeah.
this is my issue, is with the new character we just came in from the All-Star group, Atom, right?
Yeah.
I know Atom from the comic books. He can change size, right? He's
Yeah, they're
badass.
not doing that in the show.
It looked like he was a poor man's Iron Man in a promotion for the Avengers.
I was thinking very Iron Man too.
No,
I
it's
was
been a
gonna
problem.
ask, is that how he's on the Arrow? That he's sort of Tony Stark-ish?
Yeah, a little. He's Tony Stark, but he's more across with Felicity. He's more dorky.
Yeah.
And he came in on Arrow and took over Queen Consolidated when Oliver was unable to run the business. And he's been doing great. And he lost his fiance in a big disaster that happened in a previous season, and now he's trying to build these sorts of police suits basically to sort of help keep the peace. And he just fixed up one himself. He's got his prototype. He hasn't quite nailed it yet. And that's basically.
He's not going to shrink.
I
Really?
guess they decided, they talked about that in an interview, and I don't speak out of turn. Maybe they'll get to it. Sometimes they do that.
I mean, that's the form of an atom, right? You can change size.
He has created nanobots. They have established that. So he's got technology that might segue into that. But for now, they're using him as kind of an Iron Man type character, which I'll grant you feels like a little lame. And there are other Iron Man type DC superheroes you could have done. You could have done Stars.
Cyborg.
Cyborg, you could have done something with Cyborg for you. Not quite the same thing, but similar. My point is, there were other things you could have done. But Ray Palmer is a really fun character, and his whole relationship with Felicity is great. They have a great chemistry together. Anytime Felicity comes back on the show, she's just she's just so
Is he gonna
great.
Is he going to have his own show? Apparently, is Adam going to have?
He's going to be part of that spin-off. That's going to be like a team up.
It's going to be him and apparently Firestorm from this show, and Hawkgirl is being dragged in
Black
there.
Canary and Captain Cold even, which is weird. I don't know how that's
this is
gonna
a
work.
question I want to ask you guys about. So I'm not so familiar with network shows, but couldn't they prolong some of the other storylines to fill this in when they feel that they don't want to rush things? Because since 15 and 16, those are great episodes. Could they not do something more with Firestorm? Let us know where he is at and tie it into and make the issue with Cisco and Barry not trusting them the main focus of this episode? Because that was a good storyline.
Absolutely, they could, but there are other factors at play. They might be seeding things in now that will be more important later, and they want to try to do it sort of very quickly and simply. Also, actors' availability. They might only have him under contract to do that show later, but right now he's doing a movie or something, and you're stuck. That happened with they introduced the Huntress on Arrow, and then she went off and did some other things, and they probably had plans for the Huntress, and they were only able to bring her back one more time, maybe two. So that's the problem with doing shows over a long period as opposed to shooting a whole bunch over 4 months. Is you run the risk of losing actors, losing them to other shows, losing them to other opportunities, finding out something doesn't work. It just gets complicated.
So what we're saying
it
is
can be
HBO
frustrating.
needs to do superheroes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
10-episode seasons and then.
I'm fine. Well, Netflix is doing great.
I mean, to end on a positive note, I guess, I like that now we're going to have to deal with the issues of Cisco and how he deals with these mental flashbacks and how he tackles this issue, because he clearly has a bond with Harrison Wells whoever Harrison Wells is, but he has a bond there. So how does he deal with this problem now that he realizes that this has actually happened? Because do you think he realizes that, or do you think he still thinks the creepy?
That last scene seems to indicate that he's intuited it somehow.
They're going to have a conversation. They're going to find out about the alternate timeline thing, and Bob's your uncle. They'll figure it out with some mumbo jumbo. Lightning time travel.
Yeah, the next episode's called "Who is Harrison Wells?" I guess. So at least I'm excited about seeing that. But again, with the villains, I just wasn't.
And Amanda Pays came in to be like, after the accident, he was a completely different person. So,
that was very.
Did you just break
good
your
commitment.
phone? Oh my
Great
God.
commitment on the phone.
Patting side down. It's good.
All right.
All right, so we'll be back next week.